love doing a betting video on a Monday after a positive weekend. Plus 5 units, UFC 277. We cashed it. If you tailed, so did you. If you didn't, it's okay, because there's this weekend too. At UFC Vegas 59, Jamal Hill versus Thiago Santos. Pretty good scrap, pretty good card. We're going to get into that in a minute. Before then, I did say I was going to talk about Contender Series each week for those who don't know. Great show every Tuesday night, Dana White Contender Series. Winner of every fight, a fan press Dana, get a chance to make it into the UFC. Last week, didn't bet, but my boy Joe Pyfer out of Philadelphia got the W and the contract. He's already got his debut scheduled. Daniel Gracie gym looking to go 16-0 in the UFC. Bunch of studs in that gym, only 40 minutes away, looking to get in there for some interviews soon. Anyways, Contender Series this week. Hopefully more than one contract will get given out. Dana wasn't very happy last week. I want to talk about 2 of these fights. Call me biased, but I interviewed both of these guys this week. They're both great dudes, and they both got some freaking fire in them. First up, lower on the card on Tuesday, we got the kid I interviewed, Billy Goff, sitting at a minus 225 favorite right now. When I interviewed him, he was a minus 240 favorite. He's going up against Shimon Smitrowski. Might have got that last name wrong. That's okay, because it doesn't matter. He's not going to win. The guy we're focusing on here is Billy Goff. Billy Goff is 7-2. 5 of his 7 wins are by knockout TKO. He's got 3 belts right now, 2 of which in CES, 1 of which in Cage Titans. This kid's a wrestling freak, and he's got power behind the hands. I think he is fully going to outclass Shimon. I think he's going to go in there, maybe pull off a decision. Billy's very confident he's going to get a first or second round knockout, so you might want to watch that prop odds. But right now, minus 225, knowing Contender Series, those odds might like close. He might get down to like a minus 170. Cash Billy Goff, baby. He's going to be in the UFC very soon. Next, let's go to the main event of the evening of Dana White Contender Series. We got everybody's like favorite stud right now. Charlie Campbell sitting at a minus 145. No doubt the kid's a stud, but I think the man I interviewed, Chris Duncan, is a bigger stud. Chris Duncan, for those who remember, lost last season on Dana White Contender Series to Slava. Very close fight, firefight. They're both kicking each other in the calves, dropping each other, big shots, out grappling each other. It was a great fight, very even until it wasn't. Slava got the dub. We all know Slava's in the UFC now. Pretty big stud. Chris Duncan is very motivated to not only make it to the UFC and get the dub on Tuesday, but also to rematch Slava and redeem his only career loss. I love both options, honestly. Chris Duncan, very cool dude. Very like fighter's fighter, Scottish accent, like badass all around. Really like the odds there, sitting at the underdog plus 125. Charlie Campbell, again, no doubt, very good, very technical on the feet. I just think Chris Duncan's in a different state of mind right now. I think he's very motivated. I think he realizes the mistakes he made last fight, and I think he's going to learn from them. So Billy Goff, minus 225, Chris Duncan, plus 125. Those are my plays for Contender Series. Let's move on to this weekend's card. UFC Vegas 59, Jamal Hill, Thiago Santos. We'll get to that fight in a little bit. It's a scrap. Before then, I want to start at the top of my picks, my biggest plays, work my way down here. We'll go with the singles first. We'll do my parlay last. Everybody's favorite man to bet on, Vicente Luque, is currently sitting at a minus 175. Anything under a minus 200, I am smashing all over Luque here. He's going up against Jeff Neal, who's a plus 150. I don't understand why the odds are so close. I would think this would be like a minus 300 plus 220 situation, but Vegas, I think, is making a mistake here, and we're gonna capitalize. Minus 175, Vicente Luque. That's 1.7 units wins you 1 unit. I'll probably bet 3 or 4. I already have a little play, but I might make more. Luque is the younger fighter here. That 60% of the time pans out in favor of the younger fighter. 10-2 in his last 12 UFC fights. He outstrikes Neal. He outgrapples Neal. He's just the stronger fighter. He's faced the stronger competition. And I just, to put it in a non-analytical term, he's a freak. Luque's a badass. Not somebody anybody wants to step in there with. He's given the best of the best problems, and I think he's going to give Neal a lot of problems. Neal's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. I just don't see where he wins this fight. He's the slower, softer striker of the two. He can grapple and clinch, but he's not as good and aggressive with it as Luque is. I think Luque wins every avenue of this fight, minus 175. We're playing it big. Moving on down. You know, the Ultimate Fighter gets its criticisms now. It's not the same show it was. It lost a lot of its allure, but I think there's still a lot of value that comes out of these fighters. And I think a lot of these fighters still do a lot for themselves in the UFC. Mo Usman's fighting this weekend. That's a big name. Kamaru's little brother. But we're not talking about that fight because Mo's going to lose. Don't even touch that. He's a huge underdog. Don't get fooled by the odds. Right now, we're going to talk about Brogan Walker sitting at a plus 110 underdog versus Juliana Miller, minus 130 favorite. These odds are strictly based on hype alone. Juju on the Ultimate Fighter really, to me, showed 15 to 20 minutes of her just leaving her chin out there and getting cracked over and over. 1 or 2 minutes of getting kind of fluky and lucky on the mat and getting the dub. I really like Juju. I think she brings a lot of style, and I think she's a great personality for the sport. I just don't think she's near as skilled as Brogan Walker is here. I envision Brogan Walker using her very strong punches, her technical striking to really piece up Juju, who's known for leaving her chin out there. Juju's going to try to get fancy with her BJJ and take it down. Brogan's not the fighter that's going to work against. Brogan's a very top-heavy, strong wrestler. I think Juju's going to lose a decision here, maybe even get knocked out. Brogan Walker plus 110. Cash it, baby. If Juju wins, I'm not going to be upset. I think she's a great personality for the sport. Like I said, I think she'll bring in a lot of eyes. I'll be excited to watch her fight every time. I just think money-wise, you don't bet with your heart. You bet with your head. Brogan Walker, get that dub. Make me happy. Make the wallet fat. Moving on down here. One of my big things is don't bet low-level women's MMA, and I'm doing it 2 fights in a row because right now we're going with another underdog, a Stephanie Egger at minus 105 against Mara. Let's try that again. Maria Bueno Silva at minus 115. Don't know why Silva's a favorite here, minus 115. She's really been a loose cannon in her past 5 fights. I mean, we've seen her have some ups, but she's the kind of low-level women's MMA fighter we like to bet against. And I say low-level women's MMA fighter. She can kick my ass. I'm not saying she's not a great, talented fighter. I'm just saying when it comes to betting, there are levels to this game, and these 2 fighters are on the lower level. I just think the disrespect to Stephanie Egger, I'm over it. It's 2 fights in a row. She's been the underdog, a big underdog, and she's won both of them pretty handedly. I think this one's going to be the same thing. I think Bueno Silva is a little bit too crazy, a little bit too emotional, a little bit too, like I said, a loose cannon in the octagon. I don't think Egger's the best fighter, but I think she's going to be good and technical enough to piece apart Bueno Silva, take it to the mat, have some top control. Silva's good on the mat too, but she really relies on her guard and her BJJ. I don't think Egger's going to give her the space she needs. I think Egger's top control is going to be too heavy. Egger minus 110. If she gets to a bigger underdog, we're going to hit it even more. But as of right now, it's a dog or pass situation, and Egger is sitting at our dog. Hit it. Now I want to talk about my parlay. Not a big betting card for me. Only 3 singles, 2 of which are underdogs. I don't hit the underdogs heavy. Luke will see some money, but other than those 3, this bet's going to see some money too. This is my parlay of the night. Sergey Spivak sitting at a minus 215 favorite. You parlay him with the main event fighter, Jamal Hill, minus 260. That's a plus 102 parlay, baby. Give me them plus odds. Spivak's going up against his Augusto Sakai. Farting and messing up my words in this one. Spivak's going up against Augusto Sakai, who's sitting at a plus 185 favorite right now. I think it's a good line. I think Spivak is going to knock out Sakai. Sakai's been knocked out in his last 3 fights. Spivak's got very strong hands. He's pretty technical with his striking too. He's good at creating space. And his wrestling is very heavy, aggressive. He's a freaking strong dude. Don't see a lot of avenues for Sakai to win here. It's heavyweights. Anybody can get clipped, but I think Sakai for the 4th fight in the row will be the one to get clipped. Minus 215 there. Pair that with Jamal Hill, minus 260 going up against Thiago Santos is a plus 220. Love Santos. I really do. You know, he's 38 years old. He's 7 years older than Hill here. I just don't see a lot of avenues for Santos to win this fight. I think he's lost a lot of his speed. He's lost a lot of his power. He's lost a lot of his movement because of the damage to his legs. Jamal Hill is such a strong, fast striker. I think it's going to be too much for Santos. You can say like, yeah, Santos looked great. Like he won all 5 against Ankalaev. He beat Johnny Walker. Yeah, he did. He's Santos. He's been fighting tough competition for a long time, but Jamal Hill just sparked Johnny Walker, you know? He hasn't fought Ankalaev, but I like to think it'd be a bit of more competitive fight than Santos and Ankalaev was. I'm really all over Hill here. I think if Hill were like a minus 190, I'd be cashing, but he's too big to play as a single. Pair him with Spivak, give it plus odds. Yeah, I don't know. Jamal Hill's undefeated in the UFC except for Paul Craig. Paul Craig doesn't count. Paul Craig does stupid things to everybody. So he's undefeated in the UFC. I don't think slow 38-year-old past his prime Thiago Santos is going to be the guy to do it. If you like a Thiago Santos by submission play, like a plus 400, maybe throw a little nickel on it. But now the play here is Jamal Hill, parlay it with Spivak, give yourself the plus odds of plus 102. That's all I have. 5 bets of the night, 4 if you parlay the 2 of them. Nothing crazy. Not a big betting night for me. Coming off of a huge betting weekend. We don't need to throw down every weekend, folks. I'm not saying I'm not going to throw 5 or 6 units down this weekend, but it doesn't need to be a big, huge weekend. You don't always need to be throwing 15, 20, 30 units down a night to impress the people. You don't. It's not a sprint. It is a marathon. So take your time. That's all I got to say. Jamal Hill, don't take your time. Get that knockout. Okay, people. I'll catch you on the timeline this week. Much love, and yeah, let's hope the dogs cash again.